Cale Virewood was never meant to be the hero people remembered. In fact, for most of his life inside the legendary adventure party known as the Celestial Vanguard, he wasn't even the one holding the sword. He was the support, the quiet one, the strategist in the backline who kept everyone alive when things went wrong. While others were praised for flashy victories, Cale was the one quietly stitching wounds, reinforcing barriers, and calculating escape routes when missions turned impossible. The party itself was made of 4 others who the world worshipped. Lysandra Vale, the radiant holy knight who carried the image of divine justice and led the group with absolute authority. Darius Crow, the fastest blade in the kingdom and Cale's closest companion, someone Cale once trusted more than anyone. Mira Loon, a mage prodigy who rarely spoke unless it was about efficiency or outcomes, treating emotions as unnecessary variables. And Garen Blackthorn, a towering berserker who solved every problem with overwhelming force. Together, they were considered unstoppable. Together, they were called heroes. And together, they decided Cale had to disappear. It all began during the final campaign against the Demon King. After months of bloodshed, the Celestial Vanguard reached the deepest chamber of the Demon Fortress, where reality itself felt unstable. Instead of finding a throne of gold or a dying monster begging for mercy, they discovered something far more dangerous, a black pulsating relic suspended in chains made of ancient bone. It was called the Abyss Heart, an artifact said to rewrite fate itself and erase entire timelines if awakened. Cale was the first to understand what it truly was. He begged the others to destroy it immediately, warning that even studying it could corrupt the kingdom beyond repair. But Lysandra only smiled, and in that moment, Cale realized something was wrong. The mission had never been about saving the world, it had been about claiming the heart. One by one, his comrades turned on him. Darius was the first to strike, his blade piercing Cale's chest in a clean motion that left no room for survival. Mira restrained his magic with ancient suppression chains that burned his soul. Garen crushed him to the ground, ensuring he could not move, and Lysandra herself stepped forward, reciting a holy judgment that declared Cale a liability to humanity's future. He pleaded not for his life, but for them to reconsider what they were doing. But the decision had already been made long before that moment. Cale was not just being killed, he was being erased. They threw him into the Abyssal Rift, a void dimension where broken realities drift and forgotten souls dissolve into nothingness. As he fell, he heard Lysandra's final words, "You will never exist in this world again." But Cale did not die. The Abyss did not consume him. Instead, it rebuilt him. Time loses meaning in the rift. Days, years, or centuries pass without distinction. Cale's body broke down, his identity fading, until something else found him. A presence known as Noctis, the Hollow King, a being born from the remnants of collapsed timelines and abandoned destinies. Noctis offered him a pact, power in exchange for humanity. Cale accepted without hesitation, because humanity had already been taken from him. His body was reforged using abyssal energy, turning his healing magic into something unnatural, something that no longer restored life but reversed it, draining vitality from anything it touched. His support abilities evolved into combat instincts that predicted and dismantled enemy movements before they could form. His emotions were sealed into a weapon forged from fractured memory itself, called the Remembrance Blade, a sword that grew stronger every time he recalled betrayal. When he finally opened his eyes again, Cale Virewood no longer existed as he once was. He had become Cale, the Abyss Reclaimer. 3 years passed in the outside world. The Celestial Vanguard returned as Saints of the Kingdom, their names carved into monuments, their story told as the greatest victory in history. Cale's name was never spoken again. It was as if he had never existed at all. But beneath the surface of that peaceful world, something began to break. Entire criminal organizations vanished overnight. Corrupt nobles were found lifeless in their sealed rooms without wounds or witnesses. And carved into every scene was the same phrase, "Do you remember the one you erased?" Panic spread quietly through the elite circles of the kingdom, but no one could find the source. Until Darius Crow felt it first, a pressure in the air like a memory refusing to stay buried. Then one night he saw Kale again, standing at the edge of a burned estate, unchanged in face but entirely different in presence, as if reality itself struggled to acknowledge him. Darius tried to laugh it off, calling him a ghost, a trick, something impossible. But Kale simply looked at him.